Hi, this is Jeffrey Schmidt, Jeffrey Schmidt Music, and this is going to be video number 3 in my series of Audio Recording 101, and the title is, What is a Preamp? So, first of all, you have to know that a preamp is short for Microphone Preamplifier. And what does an amplifier do? Well, we know that an amplifier amplifies a signal, which means increases the volume or increases the level. And in this case, it's going to increase the electrical amplitude of the signal. And why is it a microphone preamplifier? Because we're going to plug in a microphone into our preamp. So in the previous episode number 2, we spoke about what is an audio interface. And here we have our audio interface, which in this case is going to follow our preamp. So we have our singer, our sound waves in the air, our microphone, which converts the sound waves into electrical signals on an audio cable. And in order to increase the volume or increase the amplitude of that electrical signal from what we could call mic level, microphone level, which is a few millivolts, to what we call line level, which is often tens of millivolts or hundreds of millivolts, we're going to use an amplifier that we call a preamp for short. Now, in number 2, we saw that we can take our audio interface and plug our microphone in directly. So why would we want to have a preamp in addition to our audio interface? Well, first of all, you don't need to. Every audio interface includes a preamp. However, here we're getting into the nuts and bolts of what an audio interface does. So you could see this whole block as being your audio interface, if you like. Or you might ask the question, or you might know that certain people sometimes buy what's called an outboard preamp or a dedicated preamp in addition to their audio interface. Now, why would you do that? Well, maybe the preamps in your audio interface are not as strong as you would like, meaning they don't amplify the signal as much as you would like, which can be an issue for microphones that require a lot of amplification. The one example that's often cited on the internet is the Shure SM7B microphone, which requires quite a bit of amplification in order to get a reasonable level of signal out of it, in which case you need a good preamp. Now, some audio interfaces these days will actually advertise that they're able to get as much as 80 decibels of amplification, in which case it would have enough amplification for the Shure SM7B. But there are still many audio interfaces out there, particularly the cheaper ones, that don't offer that level of amplification. So that's one reason that you might want a dedicated preamp, is that you want to be able to use dynamic microphones that require lots of amplification, and that are therefore not supported by certain, usually cheaper, audio interface preamps. Another reason that you might want a dedicated preamp relates to sound. Not all amplifiers are made the same way, and the way in which a preamp is made electrically affects the sound that it has. Now, there are certain people that argue all day long about, whether you can hear the difference between the sound of one preamp versus another preamp. Some say that you just can't hear it. Well, I disagree with that. I can definitely hear the difference between the sound of two different preamps. And I know that audio professionals can too. And that's why they use different types of preamps in their studios. And some famous mixing engineers, like some audio consoles, or mixing consoles in particular, because they like the sound of the preamps in there, or they like the sound of other circuits in there. So That was my introduction to what is a preamp. It is a device that amplifies a signal from a low-level electrical signal that comes out of a microphone into a higher level electrical signal that we call line level. And line level, just to be clear, is the electrical level that is standard between audio devices. So when you listen to an MP3 on your smartphone, the level that is coming out of your smartphone into your earpieces when you're listening is line level. So there you go. That's what a preamp is.